Thanks for coming round. We'll make you laugh before you go. Welcome to the Mermen. Welcome to the show.
No, you're not going to do it now? You don't want to beatbox?
No, we have a song already. How many? Maybe like a year.
All right.
We can do it.
It's time to start the podcast. You know what that means. Are you ready for some football?
First quarter.
I didn't realize your son's name was in that show.
Yeah, I forgot to bring the other one. I got the other
from
one
your son.
I did.
Does he want it?
I mean, they don't.
Did you ask him if we can use it?
I mean, probably. I don't remember. I just took it.
His name's in it.
I gotta bring the other one for you so we can both.
Is your other son's name in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's matching set.
Just take their shells.
What? Are you excited for football season?
Yeah. Football's my third favorite sport, but I do enjoy it when it starts.
Oh, water polo was first.
Yeah, water polo, followed by kite flying.
Nice.
And then, no, basketball's my fave. And then I like baseball better than football. I know
Really?
it's controversial, but yeah, I do enjoy baseball better. And then football. You know, I've grown to dislike football more just because I'm just like, there's a couple reasons. Like,
You liked it more when people got hurt and they didn't care about.
they get hurt now. What do you mean? Like, just what's his name? The running back for the Rams years ago, Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley.
That was the best running back in the league. That guy's working at a car wash now with 2 bad knees. And they're like, thanks for your service, dude. You had 2 good years in the league. Like, I just feel like it's very disposable. Like, the players, I feel like there's a ton of injuries. And I also feel like it's just, everyone's like, there's so much strategy. I'm like, is there? Or is it just a bunch of dudes bashing into each other and occasionally there's a good play? However, I still enjoy it, though. I still enjoy it. It sounds like I'm shitting on it completely. I still do enjoy watching it and I enjoy it. But it's my third favorite sport.
So you think basketball and baseball overtake football because of the humanitarian aspect of it?
No, basketball to me is the most skill level. Just to me, it's the most artistic, like just like pure, like your body, and it's very physical still. I don't know why people don't think basketball is physical because people are like football. Basketball is very physical. I mean, obviously we've talked about banging it, but to me basketball is just amazing because you're playing offense and defense. I think that's great. Same thing with baseball, except for designated hitter. I always like that aspect too. You're playing both ways. I still like football, and I'm still always impressed by the athleticism of football. And the thing I like about the beginning of football is awesome, which is just right now. And I play fantasy football, which if anyone from Gamblers Anonymous is listening, they're going to tell me that's gambling.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Shouldn't do that first.
Hey, well, look, I can do what I want.
I think that
Slippery slope.
in our
At the
lifetime,
casino later. See you guys.
in our lifetime, both football and basketball like has changed so much. Like even just in our generation, right?
Basketball is more popular. Basketball is the second most popular sport in the world now, but in this country, football's still the king. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just mean from like the rules standpoint, like basketball has gotten probably more physical and less finesse, and football has gotten less physical and more finesse.
Yeah, because people are dying.
Rules. Yeah.
Yeah, people are killing themselves.
That's CTE, man.
Yeah.
I brought it up last episode. My family was friends with the Bonacanis, and there was an awesome HBO documentary on Nick Bonacani. He was on the 72 Dolphins. For anyone who doesn't know, he's the star linebacker. And he, later in life, just the CTE just wreaked havoc on him, man. He just got incredible memory loss and had to be taken care of. And then his son, Nick Bonacani, they started or Nick Bonacani's son, Mark, they started the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis because he was paralyzed
playing football.
Yeah, in a game for Citadel.
Yeah.
And now, because of those...
I'm not laughing at him. I'm just thinking of all the other times I've seen people that get spinal injuries in football.
Yeah.
And they're carting him off, and they're like, he's giving us a thumbs up.
Yeah,
That
he's
means
going to be
okay.
fine, guys.
Yeah. He's okay. I'm not a doctor, but thumbs up means the spine's okay. It's like...
Well, back then, like, if you had any sort of injury like that, like, yeah, you were toast. Like, you lost the use of your legs, at least.
Yeah.
But now, like, they have such treatment for a lot of it because of that foundation, the Miami Project, where they can immediately, like, freeze your spine and shove some stem cells in there or whatever they do. And then people do, I mean, they might not ever play football again, but they can have a normal life, they can get
And
back
it's all because of it's all because of that project, really. His son was like, that happening to his, it's like one of those things where you're like, it's terrible that it happened to his son, but because it happened to his son, and he was such a high profile player and an advocate, and was able to have all these other
gave them a mission in life.
Gave
them a mission. Dude, I'll tell you, I cried one time because I grew up. I knew this family, so I thought I knew the whole story and everything. And I was on an airplane, and Sports Illustrated did an article, or maybe it was ESPN, the magazine. I don't know, one of them. It's back when I used to read a lot of magazines when I was in college, right? Yeah. So one of those did a story on Mark, and it told the story from the perspective of the guy who tackled him.
Oh, yeah.
And how that guy was a star, and how devastating it was for him that he did this to that guy, and why Mark's helmet was, the way it was, and all this stuff, right? Everything that led up to that. And then full circle, like that guy went into a spiral, and Mark went on to have this great mission in life, Yeah. And that guy always wanted to be a chef. And so he was working as a line cook or something, and Mark and him reconnected like decades later, and Mark funded that dude to open his own restaurant. And I thought I knew the whole story about it, and I'm in an airplane just crying, reading this story about what a beautiful thing came out of this tragedy, Is
the restaurant still open?
I don't know. This was years ago. Nah. I mean, it might have took a turn, had a bad ending after all, but
it was like Kitchen Nightmares.
At the time, I cried. I cry during every movie I watch on an airplane.
Oh, yeah,
Is there some science behind that?
Yeah, it's because you're a man, and we don't cry when we're supposed to. So we cried, and the
worst opportune
we
times.
We bottle it up, and then we're like, "Don't do it now."
I'm watching superhero movies on airplanes just at 9 a.m. Like, I miss my kids.
When I was in college, speaking of like when you injure somebody else, I played a bunch of different like rec sports. Then we had indoor soccer, like in Ithaca College, so it's freezing. So we had indoor soccer like in the gym. They would do it, and we were playing it, and I went to go trap the, when you go pin the ball down like that, I don't know what you call that move, where the ball's bouncing, you go like that. And I went to do that, and this guy was coming around like this to kick at the same time, and he went like underneath with his leg as I was going to pin the ball down with my leg, and I came down on his shin and just like snapped his leg. Oh. Yeah, that wasn't good. I broke his leg, and then that was like 3 weeks before school ended, and he was on crutches at all the like parties at the end of the school, and they're like,
"My bad.
Hey, buddy, what's up? Kickstand? I'm gonna kickstand." And he was just like, he was mad at me, which I guess I didn't do on purpose, but I also got it. But I also was like, "Fuck, do I have to be at every party with this guy?" Right? And it's not, you wouldn't cry at the story. There was no happy ending to it. Like, I didn't fund anything. Nothing good happened out of it. But I get like, on a much smaller level, how you would feel shitty. It's like, you're just like, oh, sorry, dude.
I can't think of a time I heard, because I played a little bit of Pop Warner ball, and I played high school football for a little bit, but I don't remember. I wasn't a menace where I was, I don't know if I was able to hurt somebody, but I remember water polo in college one time. I accidentally, I was taking a shot, and on the follow through, I gouged this dude's eye. And at first he thought it was really bad. And it was funny because the lifeguard who was taking care of him was this girl I was dating at the time. Yeah. And so he was just like cussing me out, like, "Who is that? I can't believe that guy did this." And right. And she was like, "That's my boyfriend." And that guy had to go to the emergency room. And then that night at the party, he came to the party, and they got him a pirate patch. Yeah. And I apologized to him, and he and I actually ended up becoming pretty good friends. He went to the University of North Carolina, and whenever we play them, I was like, "How's your eye?"
Yeah. I you knew Nick Bonacani, right? You said you were friends with him or your family?
So my families are friends. So I knew him. So Mark, I'll tell you another moment too with Mark.
Well, I was going to tell you, I knew Mercury Morris. Do you know who that is?
Mercury Morris?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He's the son of Mercury Morris.
Well, I was going to say, was it Mercury Morris? Yeah.
Different story, though. Not quite as good, because I bagged groceries with him at Gardner's Market.
Nice.
In South Miami. I was a bag boy with him. And if you guys don't know who Mercury Morris was, he was a running back on the same team as Nick Bonacani. He was a linebacker. The 72 Dolphins. They were the only perfect team in the NFL ever. They'd never lost a game. And Mercury Morris was an amazing running back. And he went to prison, right, for, was it cocaine trafficking?
Probably.
It was cocaine something. I don't know what it was. I don't have a...
Something tells me those 72 Dolphins...
Do you have a computer over there? Yeah. Can you look it up? Mercury Morris. What did he go to prison for? Something cocaine. Either he used it or trafficked it or something. I don't know. He was a star running back. Anyways, different family story. He was bagging groceries at a grocery store with me. So.
Wasn't Mercury Morris the one who? So every year they make a big deal when the last team wins a game, or no, the last team loses a game. So then that means there won't be any undefeated.
Yeah,
teams
they pop
that
some
year.
champagne.
Yeah. So everyone, and then I think after a while, people kind of got to the point where like even they were like, it'd be kind of cool if someone. And then
I'm always rooting for it because we lived in Miami. I'm like, fuck these Miami Dolphins. Like, I'm not even a huge Dolphin fan. I'm a Broncos fan. You know, even growing up, but it's like, I get it, guys. You pop in the it's like Larry Zonka and
it was like, how many years could we like make a big deal out of it? But then the 1 year that the Patriots,
you guys would get smoked right now. But anyways, like the Cleveland Browns right now would probably smoke you. It's like,
that's a whole other discussion. But
what did he go to jail for, Mercury Morris?
It does say cocaine possession.
It just says cocaine.
Yeah, and I remember there was all these jokes growing up. It was like, why does Mercury Morris run so fast? He thinks the sideline is made out of cocaine,
white powder.
Yeah. So I was like, and I worked with his son, and we were both competing. I don't know, whatever. We both wanted to take out this cashier who was really attractive at Gardner's Market. So shout out, not there anymore.
And so he was like, my dad was Mercury Morris, the 72 Dolphins. And you were like, my dad's not in my life.
Well, it turns out she played us both because we both took her out to multiple dinners. And she wasn't telling either of us that we were both taking her out to dinners. And
then you guys have been best friends ever since.
I took her out the New Chinatown restaurant. So that's some big, let me tell you, New Chinatown restaurant might not be a big deal to you guys. But when you're a bag boy at Gardner's, big money. I just want to say right now. I was dropping big bucks.
GMOs.
Whatever her name was. I can't even remember her name. She was pretty.
No, but so what I was going to say is when the Patriots went undefeated that year, but they lost in the Super Bowl, and it was like semantics about whether that was an undefeated season or not, right?
Yeah.
Mercury Morris was like the only one who cared. It was going on all the talk shows. It was like, nope, still not greater than us. Still not greater than us, right? You know, and remember, they only played like a 14-game season back then too, which kind of changes
total, like with the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I think it was like a 12-game season plus one play. It was like a lot less games. So, and the Patriots had to win like 17 or 18, whatever it was, to get to the Super Bowl, or 20. I don't remember.
I'll say regardless of all that though. So, a really cool thing I remember from my childhood, I was a teenager at Fuddruckers where my parents got married.
God, are you going to mention Fuddruckers every podcast?
I got a secret
Are you getting money
sponsorship
from
with
them?
I didn't want to tell you guys.
Betty Rigetti and Fuddruckers.
So I'm eating at
Are the
Fuddruckers.
Dolphins sponsoring you too with this?
I wish.
Yeah, you look like you.
Do you like my new Dolphins jersey?
No.
Why not?
Who would like that?
Me.
Yeah, you look like you're running like a bodega in the Bronx or something. Like,
so for people that aren't watching on YouTube,
we have good specials today, my friend. Come in.
For people who aren't watching this on Comedy Records YouTube, you're getting too soft, Luis. Yeah. For people who are not watching this on Comedy Records YouTube or just in the
Comedy Records,
the audio medium, explain my new jersey to them.
Explain it to them.
Yeah.
Okay. It's as if a clown came on a shirt. Like it's a football. Okay. Look, it's a Dan Marino, who is like, arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's him, doing an action
in the stance where he's about to throw a laser.
He's yelling at somebody. He's yelling at one of his receivers. Fuck you. Go down the field.
Get open.
Piece of shit.
Like I showed you.
Yeah. And he's the star of Ace Ventura too. If you've ever seen that, if you're not into football,
great performance.
Yeah, and then it's got the Miami Dolphin colors, which never is a good mixture. It's orange and teal.
It's a great mixture, but they are used very obnoxiously on this jersey.
And it's just splattered all over. It says Miami, and then there's the logo behind Dan Marino. But here's what makes it even worse. It's a tank top. Yeah. Like we were just talking about basketball versus football. There's no tank tops in football. There's no tank tops at all.
There is now, buddy.
Like if it was a basketball jersey, okay, because that's what you play basketball as a tank top. But now it's like this obnoxious tank top football jersey.
Go Fins.
Yeah, all right.
How great was that theme song? Do you remember 1984 when the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl? I went to school.
Of course I do. I grew up in Miami. You don't think I'm going to remember that? Yeah.
Well, it was a hypothetical question.
Oh yeah.
So let me start.
Rhetorical?
Let me start over.
I mean rhetorical.
Yeah, rhetorical. It was I didn't.
Hypothetical would be.
You don't have to answer every fucking question.
What if the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl this year with Tua Tagovailoa? That'd be hypothetical. But okay.
In 1984, when the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl, I wore a head-to-toe official Riddell Miami Dolphins with shoulder pads and helmet. I wore it to second grade all day, and I got
in class.
In class, I wore it all day, and then on the radio, they were playing the fight song. You know, you couldn't like download shit back then. So
I know the fight song.
Yeah.
Yo, let me tell you something.
There's always Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
Go ahead.
Take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control, except for the last couple decades. When you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl because we're the Miami Dolphins.
There's a banjo right at this part.
I recorded it on my Fisher Price tape recorder off the radio and then brought that to school with me. Can you imagine how annoyed that teacher was when second grader David Williamson walks in?
I don't have to imagine. I'm annoyed right now sitting next to you, so I don't have to.
Go
imagine.
Dolphins! Fins up!
Dude, there's always a controversy about prayer in school. Like, should that be allowed in religion, whatever? I had a physical education teacher that every Monday you would have to warm up doing jumping jacks to that song, and I think that was illegal. Like, what if you weren't into the Dolphins? He'd be like, he would get out a record player.
Yeah.
He'd be like, all right, kids, get out there. And you'd have to go do jumping jacks to the fucking Miami Dolphins song. Like, all right, settle down, buddy.
That same year in second grade at Gloria Floyd Elementary School, I had a physical ed teacher who would, when we'd have to like he'd set us up like an army. Like he was the sergeant, and then we were in rows, and we'd have to walk somewhere. And so instead of doing like sound off 1 2, he would do Wah Diddy. And so we would sing the whole, as a unit, we would sing the whole song. Do wah diddy diddy dum diddy do. She's mine, I'm hers. Wedding bells are gonna chime. Whoa. That whole song, I don't remember all the words.
I don't know it either, but I thought you could even sing that today.
Yeah, but when you go back and listen
today,
to it,
let me tell you, kids, you're missing out.
Yeah, it seems
Different times.
Seems inappropriate, the lyrics of that song.
Yeah, you can't be talking about wedding bells.
No.
Yeah.
But it was more than that. There was something that was inappropriate.
Love. Yeah, there was definitely something. You're missing some lyrics. There was like fingering or something in there.
Oh, yeah, the lost lyric about it. So a pivotal moment in my childhood was I went to Fuddruckers, and I'm eating with my buddy, and I look over, and Mark Bonacani's there with a buddy, an old teammate of his, either a high school teammate or a college teammate or what. And, you know, Mark doesn't have the use of anything below his neck, right? He's
paralyzed. We've established that, yeah.
But there's different levels of.
Okay, yeah, you're correct.
So his buddy, he's having lunch with his buddy, and his buddy would take a few bites of his burger, and then he would feed.
He would
Mark.
take a few bites of Mark's burger?
No, he would take a few bites of his own burger.
Yeah, isn't that, hey, you bet you'd like this, huh?
And then he would
quad.
And then he would feed Mark a few bites of his Mark's burger, and I don't know, man. I guess I never thought about that. Like, you need someone to help you.
You never thought about that.
But it's. I mean, not.
Let me get this straight. You never thought about the fact that a quadriplegic would need help.
I mean, I never thought about the fact that I knew like a nurse helped him or his family helped him.
Yeah. What about his ass?
But I never thought that
you'd to pee. There's a lot of things you're gonna need help with. It's very involved.
Yeah, but I never thought that you'd be able to. I don't know. I just thought it was cool that you have a friend that cares about you so much that your friend wouldn't mind feeding you so that he could have lunch with you. I just like when you're 15 or 16 years old,
friend.
you don't think about a lot of shit that's pretty obvious, you know? And that was a really cool moment for me to see that and go, I hope I have friends in my life that would still wouldn't just disappear on me if something like that happened to me, would still want to have lunch with me to the point they'd feed me. I would feed you, Forrest.
Is this something you're trying to bring up on this podcast?
Yeah, Forrest.
Is there a contract I have to sign right now?
My health is failing, Forrest. I need to know you'd feed me.
I think we're both pretty clear on whose health is failing more here than you're bringing it up now. So
Forrest, I would wipe your ass if you needed me.
I know. I don't have a wife or kids. You're really the one that's like losing out here.
you better get on board with this TV I'm building in my front yard, and because you might be living in my house.
All right. You know what I was thinking?
Acts of service. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Okay. What was I thinking about earlier? Oh, songs, because we're the Mermen podcast.
And the Miami Dolphins theme song?
Yeah.
You want me to sing it again?
No. I don't want you ever to sing it again.
All right, so what about the Mermen? Are we in the second quarter?
Second quarter.
What? So did you guys have football at your college? You went to like a small college, right? Up in like an arts college.
You want to talk about football again, second quarter? We can do, and then we can talk.
I can talk football the whole episode.
Sure. Do you think people want to listen to football the whole episode?
Don't care.
Okay, yeah, then let's do it. Yeah.
What?
We can talk about it.
What was the name of your college?
Ithaca College.
A good college?
Ithaca.
Oh,
College.
I thought you said a good college.
I can talk about football there.
Did you guys have a football team?
We did, Division III.
Do you think if you wanted to, you could have made that team?
No. They were national champs twice when I was there.
Whoa, Division III national champs.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was a small school.
Small school, but I mean, they're players, dude. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were national champs in Division III. It was non-scholarship. We can talk about. Are we talking about it?
Yeah, we were talking. So did you go to the games? Did it get rowdy?
First of all, I went to Ithaca College, and it was the Ithaca College Bombers. And I remember, this will date me on how old I am, but we were going to war in Kuwait, I believe.
Your college was?
No, not the country, Iraq, somewhere in the Middle East.
Ithaca College declares war on Iraq.
And I remember there was an op-ed. I forget. It was in the Middle East. This is how good I am at politics, but I don't know shit. We're bombing something, and there was an op-ed. And it was like, maybe now's a good time to change our name from the Bombers. Because man. And everyone was like, fuck. It's when they tried for the Miami Hurricanes, after Hurricane Andrew, there was a woman that wrote an op-ed. She goes, we need to change their name from the Hurricanes because kids growing up was like, shut up. It's like video game violence.
Somebody say hurricane?
Yeah. Wrong way.
A hurricane's a blowing.
Yeah. You'll never hear that if a hurricane's coming, by the way. I think that's tornadoes. But.
Yeah. If you hear that siren, it's already too late.
Anyways, it's a small college in central New York. If you're from New York, you'll be like, that's upstate New York. It's central New York. That's what they say it on the news there. It's the center of New York. In the Finger Lakes region.
Sounds kinky.
Division III, which means there's no scholarships. You just play because, you're not good enough to get a scholarship, but you're still really good. One of the rivals was Cortland State, where Paul Morrissey
Powerhouse
went.
Comedian Paul Morrissey.
Friend of, he played basketball at Cortland State. He's a very good basketball player. And that was the big rivalry every year, the Cortica Jug, because Cortland and Ithaca would be the Cortica Jug. Ooh. And they recently played a game in Yankee Stadium, I want to say, like 3 or 4 years ago. So it's pretty big rivalry, like in the New York State area. But
basketball or football?
Football.
Okay, your third favorite sport.
Yeah. But so they had this stadium it was a beautiful stadium. You'd sit there and it was overlooking Lake Cayuga, and it was freezing in the winter. But it was like non-scholarship, but it was fun. There was a couple guys that I think had maybe some tryouts on some NFL teams that never made it. There was a kicker, Sully, that was from Key Biscayne that we knew. Like, he was a soccer player, but he was like drunk, kicked 45-yard field goals in Division III.
I love nicknames. I love when people have nicknames based on their last names.
Yeah,
Sully. Not like George Sullivan. That's Sully.
It's Sully over there.
I love it.
But when I was there, they won 2 national titles. And the Division III national title game is called the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl. That's the name. You can look, and it still exists. And they would always, it's all these Northeast schools playing this Division III, and then they play the national title game somewhere in Florida, like in a big high school thing, whatever. And it's important to them, whatever. But yeah, and so and then I guess Cornell's in the same town, and that was like a division. And they're Division I basketball, but I think football, they're Division II, Cornell, and that's scholarship, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, Ivy League football, maybe Jay Fiedler, did he play like Harvard? That's the only Ivy League guy I can think of that played.
Yeah, Princeton maybe.
No, I think he played Harvard or something like that. But yeah, anyways, we had football, but it wasn't. It was a very athletic oriented school with a college, but it's all Division III, so it wasn't like any scholarship shit,
Jay Fiedler did play Ivy League, but for some reason I'm thinking it wasn't Harvard.
Yeah.
It was like Yale or Princeton or something.
I don't know. Yeah, you went to Auburn. You went to a fancy.
So I went to Auburn, which was, growing up in Miami during the Hurricanes' heydays and seeing like big time football with them winning national championships and the FSU rivalries and the Orange Bowl, and then going to Auburn, where what was that?
That guy that was at the Hurricane games. It's great to be a Miami Hurricane. It was just some guy that would.
Are you talking about the guy with the mustache?
Yeah,
and he looked like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. He was right next to the cheerleaders, and they just gave him a small PA.
He was a grown man.
Yeah, very grown. Definitely an alcoholic. Had nodes on his vocal cords for sure.
And he had very iconic signs. He would make up signs for everyone.
He just had a mic like this attached to like just a PA system, and he goes, "It's great to be a Miami Hurricane. It's great." And he would just yell that the whole game. You're like, who is that guy? Why is he here? This is a world-class football team, and they're just letting him yell on the...
Wait, are we talking about the same dude?
Done. Do it again. The guy on the sideline.
The guy
was like by the cheerleaders, and it just every time I'd be like, give that guy a lozenge, something. Like, why is he there? Who is that guy?
The guy I'm thinking of...
oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think because I don't even think they would even let him down on the field.
The guy with the wigs.
He would just like pay to go to the games.
He had a pom pom for a wig.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
That guy.
He had a hat, but he might have had pom-poms coming out from underneath
He had a
that.
hat and he had a pom-pom for wigs.
And he had shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And he had a cape.
You don't want to see that guy's home.
And then he always had the signs that were very iconic. They were just white poster board with thick black letters. And it was always just something like, if we're playing like Penn State, it was like, Kane's rule, you're not lying, or something like that. It was like a pun on the others.
He definitely lived in like a 150 square foot studio apartment, and he would just sit there all week like this, like, gotta come up with a saying.
And if he got on TV that week, his life was made.
I've got electrical tape and a whiteboard here. I gotta make a sign. It's like,
Boy, do I have a story about that guy.
Oh, yeah? Does it involve Fuddruckers?
No.
I'm not.
It involves the only time Dave Williamson has ever seen his parents physically embarrassed by him.
Oh, wow. I thought I was going to go a different route there.
No.
That was like a threesome. That guy and your parents. Boy, do I have a story.
Boy, do I have a story on this one.
What's that guy's name?
No idea. No idea.
I'm looking him up. Wait, till the story.
The Kane. It was something like the Kane Maniac or something like that.
Maniac Kane. Okay, I'm gonna find out what his name is. You start telling the story. I'm listening. I'm not really, but I'll pretend I am.
First of all, I was very entrenched in the Miami Hurricanes culture because not only did I grow up a big fan, but when I went to school, we were on the quarter system, and my buddy Joe Swisher was the University of Miami mascot.
Yep.
So
Joe Swisher. Come on.
That's his name, bro.
The names keep coming.
So I would go, everyone else would go away to college, and I had like 2 weeks before I had to go back to school, right? So I would just go literally like hang out and stay in Joe's dorm room with him and just be like a Miami student. And my freshman and sophomore year, we went and rushed fraternities at University of Miami. And the first week is just like they're having parties, getting to like meet people and whatever. And they're nice to you.
Yeah. So
we would go to every party and we give them a fake name. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm from Alaska. My dad's an oil tycoon. My name's Dave Fitzy. And then when we circled back around.
You said you were an oil tycoon? Or
I would make up so much shit so that they would want me in their frat. And they'd be like, here, come have a beer. Meet these girls, So then we'd go around again, like later that night. We'd be circling back and we couldn't remember which lies we told to which frat. And I'd actually get phone calls. And they'd be like, hey, man, this is Danny from the Pike House at University of Miami. We want to rush you. Can you come to our rush meeting? I'm like, I already failed out of school. I'll be back next year. And I did that 2 years in a row.
Failed out of school.
I rushed.
Like, well, we really want you next year. We don't care about your grades. Come back.
I rushed for frats at Miami 2 years in a row. So
you were in a frat anyways at Auburn, right?
Huh?
Were you in a frat in Auburn?
No, water polo was my frat.
Yeah. Should have been.
I know I have frat boy vibes, but I didn't need it, man. I was making friends for free.
Okay.
So, anyways, point is, I had a lot of friends that were actual students at University of Miami. So I was home. I might have just graduated, or I don't know. I don't even remember what year it was. But it was the year that Miami was playing Penn State, and Penn State had like LeVar Arrington, I think, as their linebacker back then. Mm-hmm. So they were, pretty good. Yeah. And me and a couple of my buddies who were actual Miami Hurricanes students, we get down there like 8 a.m. to tailgate for this like noon kickoff game. And we start drinking vodka and orange juice. And we start drinking Budweisers. And before I know it, pretty hammered, right? And I'm painting my face all up and I'm painting my body. Yeah. Because I was a body painter, as I'm sure everyone could guess. And that guy came through, that dude that we're talking about with the signs.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I'm trying to find his name. I can't, it's hard to
well,
find.
We have a producer.
But I'm just putting in sign guy, University of Miami. It's hard to, there's not much to go on.
I tried my best.
All right. Let me finish this story and then I will find it in 5 seconds.
Okay. I'm hoping you do.
Yeah. So I was inspired by him. I'm like, I need to come up with a good sign. And I brought poster board and markers, but I hadn't made my sign yet. And this was way before the Penn State scandal and everything, right?
Yeah.
So
you're
this
like
is what
Forrest Gump of Miami. I feel like you're always in. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So this is what Forrest Gump of Miami? Why did you say that?
Because you're always in some situation like this, like some famous Miami situation.
Yeah. No,
you're always there.
I was very inspired by Forrest Gump. So I take that as a compliment.
Keep going. Sorry.
All right. So let me see if I can find the sign to show you. I have it in my photos. I just found it recently. So this is what I came up with as my sign. I wrote, you can't spell penis without P-E-N-S, which really doesn't make sense in the big context of things. But at the time,
why P-E-N-S?
well, because it was like Penn State. Yeah, I was like, but
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
I thought I was Hemingway, bro. I thought I was like, bro, this is a banger of a sign. I couldn't have been more proud of this sign.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it.
It's a pretty good one there.
Yeah. So then we get into the stadium and I'm hammered and I want everyone to see this sign.
Yeah.
So I start walking around the stadium.
Check your dick out.
Before kickoff. And I went to every section and held the sign up. It was just yelling, penis! 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 No. And I got more sections to chant penis than didn't. And by the time I got to the 7th or 8th section and held it up, I'm just going nuts. And people are pointing, and I thought they were laughing with me. But it had rained a little bit as we were coming to the stadium. So my body paint was just running. So it was a little sad looking. And I'm just yelling. And I look up, and I see my parents, which they never went to football games back then. I saw my parents with their neighbors sitting with a bunch of other, adults who were making an evening or an afternoon of going to the game.
And they didn't know you were here with a sign?
Nope. And I'm like, hey, that's my mom and dad. And I ran up and I'm like, hey, Joanne, how are you? And I went to go give her a hug. And she's like, oh, Dave, no. And my mom just looked at me and was like, go sit with your friends. And I was like, what's wrong, guys? And I'm like, all right, see you later. Go Canes. And then later on, when I sobered up, I was like, oh, my God, my parents. And I got home that day, and my mom was like, I don't want to even talk about it.
Do you know how many people at that stadium saw you and made fun of you, by the way, that day?
I thought I was a hero.
No, you weren't.
I do that a lot in my life.
There's so many football games I've gone to, and I've seen a person like you there, and I've just been, look at this piece of shit here. This drunk piece of shit. There's a guy that tried to start a fight with me one time that was drunk. He thought I was throwing peanuts at him or his friend. That's why I don't go to football games anymore. That's another reason.
Well, a lot of fighting, yeah.
Yeah, this guy was. I'm sitting. It was a Monday night football game, Dolphin game. I went to with a friend, and it was way up in the fucking nosebleeds. And this guy's friends were throwing peanuts at him. He's walking down the stairs, and he was fucking obliterated drunk. And I happened to be eating a bag of peanuts, which a lot of fucking people were. It was a football game. There's lots of bags of peanuts there.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he's like, because I'm sitting right next to him. He goes, the fuck, bro?
What?
Yeah, I go,
you want to go?
I'm completely stone cold sober. I go, I'm not throwing any peanuts at you. It's your friends. And he's just so drunk, there's no language processing in his brain. And his friends are like, yo, they're like this. They're like, we're throwing the peanut. And he's
it's
like,
us over here.
Bro, you want to fucking go? This guy was so drunk. You know when you're way up high, the stairs are like this steep, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I could have just went like this and knocked him. Like, there's no way he's beating me in a fight. I'm like, dude, just keep walking. Like, I'm not gonna fight you, man. Like, we're not. He goes, it's disrespectful. You're throwing peanuts. Finally, he looks at his friends. He sees his friends are talking to him. He sort of processes they threw the peanuts, but now he's still, his dumb fucking lizard brain is like, yeah, this guy wants to fight me now. I'm like, well, I don't want to go to any more football games. Here, real quick on the University of Miami before we get off the topic.
I can't find the photo, so I'll give it to you later, Louis. Maybe you could throw it up in post.
I think we might jump to a different topic before we do. You just made me think of one of the douchiest things I ever did when I was in high school, or just out of high school. I think, end of high school. I think it was end of high school, 1989. I think Jesse Armstead. Do you remember him as a linebacker? Mm-hmm. Played for the New York Giants.
He was a great linebacker.
So when he was a freshman, he was on special teams, and me and my buddies were at a UM game, and he came down on special teams, and I just mean, like, ended a dude's life.
Yeah.
Like, on special teams. But he was a freshman, and I was like, me and my buddy, were number one. That's how you remember me. He was a linebacker, and we're number one. And I was like, we were like, who the fuck is that guy? And we're like, that guy's like just from that tackler, like, he's a future star. He was an NFL, like, he was a great NFL player. That's how, but you knew he was going to be a star. And we loved him so much just on that play. Me and my buddy, Charlie Joseph, and I forget if it was his brother, Brian Joseph. You know him.
Yeah, I know those guys.
I think Brian was with us too. Yeah, I believe. We decided we were going to go meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, let's go meet him.
Oh, man, athletes love that.
They're 1 year older than us. We're like 16 or so in high school. Let's go meet some dudes that are probably, okay.
That guy just murdered a dude. Like,
so
he'll enjoy meeting us.
We go to where the dorms are, where, because, I mean, these guys are super famous in Miami, all like future NFL players, but you can just go to their dorms because, especially then, they're not getting paid or anything, even though they're making millions for the school. We just start knocking around. We're like, yo, you know where Jesse Armstead lives? And then there's like, we're just seeing all the football players and shit. Like, yeah, he's in room, whatever, blah, blah. Dude, we get to his room. We knock on the door. Cortez Kennedy answers the door. Cortez Kennedy also played in the NFL. I think he played for
Seattle.
Did he pass? Was he the guy that passed away in No.
Russell Maryland.
Russell Maryland, he was on. Cortez Kennedy was, I don't know how big he was, but let's just say he was 6'5", 300. Yeah. He was fucking massive, bro. He answered the door. He was in the whole doorway. He's just the whole doorway. I think he played for like the Cowboys and or Seattle. He played, yeah, right. You said, all right. He played for Seattle. He just, the whole door, and we're like, yo, we're here to see Jesse Armstead. And he just starts laughing. He goes, man, usually it's women coming here to see Jesse Armstead. And we're like,
you crazy crackers.
Yeah, that checks out. It's like, he goes, you can come in, man. And he shakes our hands, first of all. His hand was so big. I remember it was like, went up to my elbow almost. Yeah. We're like, hi, Mr. Kennedy. We're like, he was about to go to the NFL and make millions, right? And so he's playing video games with like some scrub that like, I don't know who it was. It was probably fucking Russell Maryland. It's probably something like that. And we just sat there and waited for Jesse Armstead.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, he came in and we're like, hi, Jesse, we really think you're a great player.
Hey, man.
I hope you have fun getting your dick sucked. Anyways, we're off.
Hey, you really laid a lick on that one player.
Hey, we're in high school down the street. I go to Cargill High School. Bye.
We have a Dungeons and Dragon Club every Friday if you want to come by.
What a bunch of losers. Anyways.
I got to meet a couple, or quite a few athletes, my dad's dealership, and the one I remember is Bryant McKinney. Remember him, offensive lineman?
Your dad's dealership? What was it across the street from? I forget.
Barracudas. So when I met Bryant McKinney,
I think people think that's a lie, but I knew that your dad's dealership was across the street from Fuddrucker. It's ridiculous.
When I shook Bryant McKinney's hand, it like wrapped around my hand 3 times. Yeah. It was like a massive human being. Massive human being.
All right.
So you mentioned earlier, this made me think of, first of all, let's talk about this. I was thinking about nicknames because you brought up that guy Sully earlier.
So this will be the third quarter.
Yeah, we're in the third quarter.
Third quarter.
So you brought up
should
nicknames.
We do a halftime? We just go straight into third quarter.
I could wipe some sweat off my face.
No, I know, but I mean, should we be doing that on the podcast? Like,
nah.
Okay.
Overcomplicating it. Someone tagged us because somebody put out a video about the Miami Heat when they first came into existence in 1988.
Who tagged us?
Someone I know.
Yeah. Johnny Spillane.
But I think, Fettuccine.
Hey.
Johnny Fettuccine.
Hey, Mr. Tiramisu. He got into it. I don't know why I'm making them all Italian now, but
the Miami Heat, when they came into existence, I guess they had a contest where people could try to come up with the nickname for the Miami Heat.
They did.
And one of them was the Miami Mermen.
Yep.
And they made hypothetical logos for each name.
By the way, you used hypothetical correctly. No, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm very coachable. I learned. Yeah. But the logo was cool. We're definitely stealing it, by the way, Luis. We're going to use that for sure. It was the Miami Mermen.
I sent it to you because Willie Q sent it to me.
Yeah.
Willie Q, who's, I don't know if he does comedy anymore. He used to do comedy in South Florida.
We know.
I think he's in Central Florida. He sent it to me. I thought he made it for us.
Yeah. I know. You were giving him credit. I saw that 3 hours ago.
I thought he listened to the podcast and was like, hey, I made a logo for you guys. I was like, thanks, Willie Q.
Well, the podcast is doing well enough to this point where there's name recognition that people are tagging us in something that says Mermen. But it's not doing so well that no one has made us free art yet.
Yeah. I mean, we've only had 3 episodes up until this, so, you know.
We'll get there.
But yeah, it was like, what were the other names? So there's the Miami Mermen, which, by the way, if you were a basketball team, can you imagine if it was like the Miami Mermen?
I didn't know it was dope.
Yeah, it'd be like Any Given Sunday. Like that movie, what was the Miami?
The Miami Sharks, bro.
Miami Sharks. You're like, this is a fake football team. Al Pacino's getting out there. Yeah. I can't do any impressions.
Nothing like wearing, like having your team color being black when you play in Miami, Florida. Yeah. We'd have been at a disadvantage every game.
Wasn't there one that on that thread it said one of the Miami Bagels?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out! Like,
and there was my
I
favorite.
wasn't even entertaining that.
My favorite one was the Miami Buns, and it was hamburger buns, but the buns had a Z in it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Sponsored by Fuddruckers. And then there was the Miami. The cool ones were the Miami Barracudas. I like that one.
Barracudas is good. Heat's definitely good.
Yeah, Miami Vice.
Miami Vice. Because the team was made in what, 89?
88, I think.
88. Yeah. So it was still like Miami Vice was still in the air, right? Or
it was still relevant.
Just coming off the air. So people were like, yeah, dude, this would be cool, right? In 2000, whatever, Miami Vice. It's like,
I love watching old Miami.
If you go to a basketball game, by the way, they still play The Heat Is On when you're there,
yeah.
Which I don't know if kids think that's cool. Do you know that song, Luis? No. You don't know The Heat Is On?
The Heat Is On.
You think that's going to help him? You think that's helping him right now?
Actually, yeah. No.
First of all, I know the song, and you're doing a terrible
I'm
rendition.
killing the
You have to do the
songs
song. You have to go.
The heat is on.
What's that? What's the clapping?
And then the other one they do is
Starting a scene in a movie. The heat is on. Take 3.
alligator arms.
It's like it's a song from the 80s, and they still play it in the arena. And you're like, all right, everybody stand up. I'm like, just play some hip hop, dude. Don't be playing that.
They also play Phil Collins in The Heat of the Night a lot, right?
Yeah, but that's iconic.
Yeah.
That song, you know that one, right?
That's what the drum solo.
Yeah, that's
And the air tonight.
That's like legendary song. Yeah. That's
I used In the Heat of the Night.
Wait, that's called why In the Heat of the Night? That's
a
another
TV
song.
show with
with the dead guys.
Yeah, the guy
that was in All the
racist guy,
Family.
yeah.
He's not racist. His character was racist in a show.
It's probably safe to say he was racist.
What are you talking about? What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Archie Bunker, that guy.
Archie Bunker was the character who was racist.
Yeah.
I don't believe he was racist in real life, as far as I know, but maybe. Why can't I remember his name? The actor. He's dead now, I'm pretty sure. White guy. Because in The Heat of the Night, he played a sheriff in a southern town. And then
Andy Rooney?
No, Andy Rooney. He was the guy at the end of 60 Minutes that was like, and let me tell you another thing. What's up with the burritos? They're everywhere now. Now they're called wraps.
Carol O'Connor?
O'Connor. Yeah, he's dead, right? Does it say anything about him being racist? Carol O'Connor? Carol O'Connor, right?
Carol O'Connor.
Yeah.
Died 2001.
Man, he's long dead.
Google racist now.
Yeah. I don't think he's racist. It's going to say Archie Bunker, but that was a character.
Well, I think the Miami Heat was the best nickname out of the whole lot. Have you ever had a nickname before in your life?
Nah. Just like FoFo. You know, but not really.
What?
But it's not even a nickname. It's just like what people have made up. It's not like a nickname that's stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Are you someone's grandpa?
No. Well, I dated
Grandpa FoFo.
I dated a woman who would call me FoFo, right? She'd be, hey FoFo, and then she had a toddler, and the toddler couldn't say FoFo, so the toddler would call me Bobo. so then my nickname became Bobo, which not
Who's
flattering.
the clown now for us?
Yeah, it wasn't flattering. So Bobo, that's stuck.
That sounds like, hey, guys, clean room. Nana and Fofo are coming over.
I don't have a nickname. Is my point. I don't have a nickname. I'm sure you have a ton.
I have a shit ton of nicknames.
Yeah, yours is. I can't even imagine. I don't even know any of yours. What are your nicknames?
My nicknames through my life have always been an adjective before Dave. So it's always been like something Dave. Yeah. So like just off the top of my head, some I could think of are, well, now it's Meet Dave because of my podcast.
Meet Dave.
And everyone calls me that. And then I've had U-turn Dave. When I worked for Red Bull, I used to pull U-turns in that.
Hold on a second. You drove that Red Bull truck with the fucking can?
Right when I graduated college, did it for 2 years.
What? How did I not know that?
Grouper Dave.
Wait, hold on a second. Did you ever knock that can off?
No, but
I think you would forget how tall that can is, and you'd be like, I just got to pull in this garage.
You cannot forget that the can is there. It's like a sail.
Why? It's like sticking over the.
It's just so big, and it's just like there's always constant reminders.
And you just drive around, you give out free Red Bull? That's the whole job?
It was the best job ever.
Does it pay good?
It was paid good for a part. It was like $12 an hour in
how
2002.
fucking hopped up are you in that job?
I drank so much Red Bull.
You just like, let me get another Red Bull out of the back.
Because I was still like going out partying all the time back then.
I'm not a big Red Bull guy, but I imagine you are.
You could roll it. You could roll into work on 2 hours sleep and be like, I'll be all right.
I got a fucking truck full of Red Bull. How much Red Bull was in the truck?
You'd put a few cases in per shift. Yeah. So the whole trunk of the car.
And someone can just flag you down and get a Red Bull?
Well, yeah, they could.
Like,
we'd have targets. Okay. So like you'd show up to work that day. It was you and somebody else.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, all right, today's mission team is that you're going to visit every strip club in the Tri-City area and educate them on the benefits of Red Bull for working their shift.
I love that is your mission. We're going to educate people at a strip club today.
We went to every strip club in the Charlotte area.
That was written on corporate like letterhead. All right, we're going to educate people at a strip club.
And our shift started at noon.
Yeah,
so we were educating the B team that was working the day shift.
Now, dude. That sounds like a good job.
It was great. Yeah. Normally, most shifts they would it would be like a dude who wasn't afraid to talk to people, which was me, and then like a hot chick. That was the formula that was best.
Yeah.
You know?
That sounds about right.
And then you'd go and you'd go to do different things. I almost died in that car one time actually because
I imagine it's not safe for driving.
We were in charge of doing the maintenance on it, so we would just forget for long periods of time to be like, "Oh yeah, we should probably get new tires." Like, so,
Yeah, there's a giant can on top of here. I mean, it's already a little squirrely on the red. It's like, yeah.
So me and my buddy Jason Sherrill,
You turn Dave. Okay.
yeah, we were going to Boone, North Carolina, to do.
Wait, in that car?
Yeah. So it was like a 2-hour drive.
Oh, you were doing this in North Carolina?
Yeah, I was living in Charlotte.
I imagine you driving from Miami. Okay, got it.
No, I was living in Charlotte.
Yeah, when you were living there. Okay, got it.
So we were going to some ski slope to do to give out Red Bulls. So we were supposed to go to snowboard shops, the people at the base of the mountain.
You're basically like a low-level cocaine dealer.
Totally.
Just, you know. Yeah, they're like, just go where people kind of want Coke.
Yeah.
And then give them Coke. Like,
and people didn't know what Red Bull was at the time. So we'd go to like construction sites. And
you'd see a guy dressed similar to how you're dressed.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, you tired? You like the party? Try one of these.
You look like you like dancing.
Yeah. Get over here, buddy.
So we'd go to we'd go to like construction sites, and I'd be like, "Hey, we're just here to give you something free. There's no catch. We just want to educate you on the benefits of Red Bull." And then the guy would be like,
"It tastes like what you imagine radiator fluid would taste like, but you'll get used to it."
Yeah. And the guy would be like, "I've heard of that stuff. I heard that a guy drank 13 of those mixed with vodka and he died. No, thank you. Not going to put that in my system." As he's eating a hot dog from 7-Eleven.
That's right.
7-Eleven. Thank you for my coffee today.
There used to be all those myths around Red Bull. Not that it's good for you by any stretch of imagination, but there used to be myths like if you drink 2 Red Bulls with vodka,
Your heart will explode.
You touch some crack and you'll get AIDS.
I'm like, bro, I don't think the Red Bull was the main culprit in that guy dying from drinking 14 vodkas and anything. But
that seems like a fun job for.
It was great
if you're like, that age. Yeah.
So we're going to the ski slope this one day, and first of all, I'm terrible at driving in winter conditions, but black ice is like a real thing that's dangerous to anybody, even if you're
with
good.
that car too. Yeah.
With that car, with definitely tires that we probably had not updated.
Yeah.
So we're driving. We had talked my boss into. We said, "Hey, can we snowboard while we're there?" And she said, "No, you're not allowed to snowboard while you're on the clock." And we're like, "What if we go up early, do half our shift?
What if we're handing out Red Bulls while we
clock out for 2 or 3 hours, and then
what if we're
clock
throwing
back in?"
Red Bulls at people?
And so she looked at us and she was like, "You're not allowed to snowboard while you're there with the company stuff." She's like, "Now, if you happen to snowboard and I don't know about it, that's another thing." She goes, "But if anybody gets hurt, then I'm going to know about it and I have to fire you." And we're like, we're going to read between the lines and take this deal, right?
Yeah.
So me and my buddy Jason, we decided we're going to go early. So it was a little earlier, and that's when you got to worry about black ice because, it hasn't defrosted yet from the night and you can't see it on the road.
Black ice.
So we're on this windy mountain road.
Does everybody know what black ice is?
Black ice is?
Black ice. Not black ice. I don't know. We're in Southern California. Black ice. People don't know what it is. You know what black ice is, Luis?
I actually don't know.
It's ice on the road, but so you can't see it. So it can make your car spin out.
Yeah, like sometimes you can see if the road would, but it's just like invisible. And so you'd just be driving and the road seems normal. And then all of a sudden you just hit ice that you can't see and the car just starts. I don't know. It looks like asphalt. Yeah, just ice, invisible ice.
I live in Inglewood, so.
That's why I know. That's why I figured you didn't know. It's 100,000 degrees here right now. We're sweating inside. We look great.
So we're in this Red Bull car, and I'm on this windy mountain road, and we hit black ice, and we start to spin out. Yeah. And I'm like, we're going to die. Because if we spun out and went to the right, we were going to end up hitting the rail and tumbling down the mountain probably, right? Mm. And luckily, we slid to the left, and we're spinning. So, like, we were going around backwards, and I can't tell which way
it's
we're
crazy.
spinning.
And when you're spinning at that speed, I don't know if anyone, some people haven't been in the North. I had a shitty car in the North that I delivered pizzas in with Railroad Drive at Dodge Aspen, 1977. You're going 50 miles an hour forward, but you're spinning only like 20 miles an hour around, right? Yeah, so you're like, it's terrifying. You're going like super fast, but you're just like it's like the worst.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrible. I've done it before, yeah.
I did it in water in Florida, too. I could tell that story also. Yeah. But anyways, so we're spinning around. Luckily, we spun across the other lane and nestled in the little trench down alongside the mountain. Yeah. And as we're both sitting there, like, freaked out, like, can't believe that just happened, a truck came whizzing by, like a semi-truck. And I'm like, man, if that truck had come through like 5 seconds earlier, it would have like smashed us to bits.
Yeah, cans would have been flying everywhere.
So we got the car back on the road and went snowboarding. And but I'm like, dude, I can't believe I almost died in a Red Bull car. Like the thing would have been like the worst coffin ever.
I'd be doing this podcast alone.
Yep. So we go down.
They called the Mermen podcast.
So we did this a few times, right? We went down and pulled this little heist a few times where we would give away free Red Bull to the snowboard rental guys, and then they'd be like, "You guys want free snowboard rentals?" We're like, "Yeah, we do." And then we'd give away free Red Bull to the ticket operators, and they gave us free lift tickets.
Yeah, drug dealers.
Yeah. So we ended up, and then we brought our little, even though we weren't supposed to, we were wearing our cool Red Bull jackets and we had these awesome backpacks that were insulated. So we were giving free Red Bull out to all the lift operators. We were like celebrities on the mountain. Everyone was like, the Red Bull guys are here, right?
Yeah.
So
got a lot of jackets.
Yeah.
So satin.
No, they were like,
have your name on it.
They were like, no, they were kind of like snowboard jackets. They were like winter jackets.
I know the jacket you're talking about. Those, it'd probably be worth money, collector's items.
Yeah, I kept a lot of that stuff. I had a lot of that stuff for a long time. I think I finally got rid of it.
Next show.
I'll dig out, see what I can dig out. Probably smells like mothballs.
Fourth quarter.
So anyways, this one time, my buddy Jason, he almost broke his leg twice. And both times I'm like, bro, you're going to get us fired if you don't chill out. And the second time was the funnier one where he kept sitting down on the lift, and he's got a big ass because he's a BMX bike rider. So he's got like just a big lower body, right? Like this guy's just muscle.
So BMX bike riders have big asses?
He's just a cyclist. You know, he's got big cyclist legs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe he's just got a big butt.
I think he just has a big ass. Yeah, I don't think every BMX or bike rider has a big ass.
I apologize to the BMX community.
Do they? I don't know. Maybe I'm not well versed, but it just seems little.
He's just got a big posterior.
You like his ass? I know.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
But he kept sitting down on because I'm goofy footed, and so we weren't like we were the same way, you know.
Yeah.
So he kept sitting in the middle of the chairlift, and I kept almost falling. And I'm like, Jason, you gotta sit against the rail, bro. Like, there's not enough room for both of us to like take up extra space. So finally, I came up with a plan. I scooped back like 6 inches, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit down way before him, right? So I do that. I sit down, and so then when he sits down, sure as shit, he sits down in the middle, and he's like half on my lap.
Yeah.
So then the chairlift starts to go up, and he slips and falls off the chairlift, and I like grab him like this, you know? And so he's like hanging off and dangling and like slipping, and I'm trying to pull him up. And I'm like turning around to look at the chairlift guy, like, stop the chairlift. And the guy's reading the ingredients on the can I just gave him of Red Bull, like not paying attention. You know?
What's taurine?
Yeah.
And guarine.
Like, taurine and B vitamins. So this is really beneficial to our. No one's going to get hurt now because we're going to be alert. Meanwhile, I'm running up going, help. So the ski lift just keeps going up, and I'm laughing, but I'm like trying not. I mean, it's serious, but I can't help but laugh. And I'm trying to pull him up.
It's like the beginning of a cliffhanger.
It's totally like that. Same thing. So then he realized all of a sudden that if he's going to fall, he better fall now.
Yeah, before it gets
too high.
Yeah.
So he just looks up at me and goes, Dave, just let me go.
How high up were you now?
I mean, I don't know.
10, 15 feet maybe?
Yeah, like 15, 20 feet. And so I go, what? And he goes,
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Just let me go. And so, like, he didn't even have the word go out of his mouth, and it went, and let go. And then he just, like Die Hard, he was like,
But you guys were snowboarding. Did he have a snowboarding attached to his foot? Or?
Yeah, it was, he had it off his foot dangling. But he fell in, like, the soft part of the snow because they plowed all down.
Bank.
Okay. But, I mean, it was a sizable fall.
And then you helped him up in a restaurant. That was nice. Yeah.
I learned something about myself.
I don't know.
And then, I'll feed you a hamburger. So I learned something about myself that day because I wasn't sure if he was okay or not okay. And I knew that if he wasn't okay, for as long as my friend.
Oh, yeah, because you had to go to the top of the mountain and snowboard down.
Yeah. But I also didn't know, if we were going to get fired because if he wasn't okay, whatever. But I could not stop laughing the whole way up. I just kept replaying in my head him going, just let me go. And I was like, man. So then I went down. It turns out he was all right.
It's not your fault. I mean, it is your fault, but it is not your fault. Yeah. All right. What song did you listen to on the way down?
I don't know.
Whatever Red Bull gave us. Yeah. They only gave us like hardcore metal shit.
So then I also had, I dated a British girl for a while, and she used to call me Hey Dave, because she used to think it was funny when people would be like, hey Dave, and she's like, hey Dave, like she'd make fun of our accents.
You're making fun of
I had
Hey Dave sucks.
I had Grouper Dave for a while, because when I was spearfishing, I used to always I was good at shooting groupers. They called me Grouper Dave for a while.
They all had Dave, huh?
Yeah, so I'm telling you. When I first went to college, I was Miami Dave for sure. When I went to, you'll like this one. When I went to study abroad over in Switzerland, there was 2 Daves in our little like group of Americans. So they called him Timid Dave and me Loud Dave. So they just called me Loud Dave for a whole summer.
Oh, I just thought of one that a friend of mine used to call me. I mean, Doc.
Doc?
Yeah, because he really liked the movie Young Guns.
Oh, yeah.
And he said I was like Kiefer Sutherland, and that Doc was Doc because he was the guy that was good with the ladies, and he said you're the guy that's always good with the ladies. But let me tell you,
Huckleberry.
I'll tell you, I'm not good with ladies. I just don't talk to them, and then they come up to me.
Yeah.
And then Orlando, our buddy Orlando Leyva, him and his wife, Vanessa, they call me Pantera for the same reason. They say that
Black ISIS.
No, they said that women are attracted to me by some magical force. I don't know.
Is Pantera like Panther?
Pantera. That's what they had. That's how they say it. I don't know. They say it. You can ask them. We'll have to get confirmation on it. But the same reason my buddy called me Doc. I don't know. It's not by anything I do. It's a combination of willful ignorance and confidence. So
Can I tell you a story about
no game whatsoever?
Can I tell you a story about you that I don't know if I've ever told you before?
About me?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll probably know it, right? Since it's about me.
Maybe. When you were when we first met and we were first becoming best chums, we were living in Miami and we were like emceeing at the Miami Improv a lot, right?
Erotic.
You were dating a girl. I don't know if it's kosher to use her name, but she was a smoke show of a blonde.
Sherry.
Yep, very svelte, beautiful blonde.
She was
woman.
She was a model.
Yeah.
Then she became a biologist. And
So Ian Bagg was headlining, and I was emceeing for Ian Bagg, and you were hanging out, and she was hanging out, and Ian was just like, man.
Yeah, everybody.
I already know he's really dating out of his league there. Like, and we were like, yeah. I was like, yeah, man, I don't get it either, but like, they're really like getting serious and whatever, and like good for him and whatever. And then she was talking to me and Ian at the bar, and you weren't there. You were like, going to the bathroom or doing something. I don't know. And she made a comment about her ex-boyfriend was an offensive lineman for some football team. Yeah.
Yeah,
so she was
University of Miami. Full circle. Yeah.
So she was telling us that, and then the second she turned away, Ian looks at me and goes, "Well, guess we just figured that out." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "She likes the chubby ones."
She was very attractive. She's doing well. I'm friends with all my exes. I'm not very good friends with her. Like I don't talk.
I'm
to her.
friends with all your exes.
I don't talk to her like I do some of my other exes that I'm really close with still, like Lisa and Bianca, obviously my last girlfriend. But I just touched base with her recently because I was in Florida near where she lived, and she's married and has kids, and she's doing well and stuff. But yeah, she was very attractive, and it was when I first started kind of coming up in the comedy scene, and I would like go by the Improv, and literally everyone would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
like I'm like, "Fuck you guys! What do you mean I can't?"
Nah, man.
Everyone would be like, "What the fuck are you doing with this guy?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Fuck you guys! What does that mean about me?" Yeah,
I think you deserve a very beautiful woman, but she was like so striking. It was kind of like anybody who was with her would be like, "What are you doing with this normal dude?"
No, she when she was at a young age, she lived in Europe. She was a model, and she did that life for a while, and then she's like, "I don't want to do that. I want to." She went to UM and she went to University of Miami and studied science. That's how I met her. She was in biology world and stuff. And then her ex-boyfriend was an offensive lineman. I remember we were out one night in the Grove and we're at a bar, and then he was like, "I'm still not over you," and I was like, "Well, I'm not fighting this."
Yeah.
Hey,
I guess it's been a good run.
I'm gonna get drinks. You go talk. You working out here with your ex-boyfriend? He was like a backup center. See, he wasn't a star, but no big deal, bro. But he was still big.
The 6-year-old who lives next door to me now calls me Neighbor Dave. I like that one a lot.
Neighbor Dave.
Neighbor Dave.
Yeah. It's funny that you're telling me this story now. It's like every comic in the world. Hey, you remember that girl you dated? Yeah. Gideon, the manager. Yeah. I did a show there one night, and at the end of the show, she's like, "He asked me if I want to host a beer pong thing here." I'm like, "Oh, I bet he did."
Yeah.
She's like, he wants me to work here.
How do we get you around more when Forrest isn't here?
He wants me to work here now. I'm like, "Oh, does he?" I was like, everybody loves you. I was like, Nah, she was a nice girl, but it didn't work out for us. But she seems to be doing okay. So,
Yeah, that's cool, man. Tell her I said hi.
Yeah, she listens to the pod. I don't know if she does. Hi, Sherry.
Thanks for listening, Sherry.
Subscribe, rate.
I'm sure I have more nicknames, but those are the only ones I can think of now. But yeah, definitely it's all been adjectives before my name. But when I was in when I went up to Auburn, it was such a funny culture shock. Not even for me, but for people around me.
When you went to the middle of nowhere, Alabama,
From Miami,
it was
because
a culture
I was
shock.
wearing wife beaters and gold-plated shark tooth necklaces. Yeah, and people were just like, "Oh, that's Miami Dave." Oh, that's wife beater Dave, or whatever.
Auburn's like in
wife beater Dave is not the best nickname,
right? I've never even been to the university, but I've been to Birmingham. And Birmingham is like a cool city. I wouldn't call it a city. It's like a small city, but it's still for Alabama.
Yeah, no, Birmingham's this big city.
Yeah, settle down. We live in LA. This is a big city. Birmingham.
They have like 3 malls.
What is there like? There's probably like 400,000 people in Birmingham. It's not small, but I'm just saying it's not like a huge city.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when you're in Birmingham, that's like the big city in Alabama.
Auburn was a small town. It was
And
a
so
college
Auburn
town.
is way outside of that. So
Yeah.
it's like a small little. It's like Ithaca where I was. It's like the little city, right?
It is a straight up college town.
Yeah.
And when my wife talks about this all the
So when you come from Miami with your big city ideas and your your fast talking Fuddruckers,
when we were 18 years old and were able to vote for the first time, on the voting form it says like name.
you're like Democrats.
It said name, birthday, address, and then it said if you don't have an address, draw a map here to your house.
Shut the fuck up.
Swear to God. So
Oh
if
my
you
God,
lived
I
on
wish
a
they had camera phones back then. You
Yeah.
taking a picture.
if you lived on a ranch in the middle of
I
nowhere,
would love to see some of the
you had to
maps that
just
people
draw a
drew.
map to your house.
Yeah, you take
And
a-
that's
hey,
how they
hey,
stole votes.
Yeah, you take a ride at the creek. It's dried up in October, so you might not see there'll be some pebbles in there. And then there's a cow that likes to hang out and eat.
All right. Hey, that was a good podcast. 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
Yeah, we're sweating.
So, hey, man, a lot of unintentional Miami sports talk today. It made me realize I have a lot more stories from tailgating and stuff. We'll work on that. Are you working on your posture so you look good?
Something like that. Right here. I thought of other sports stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
when I tried out for the high school football team, we didn't talk about that.
We can get into high school. I got high school football stories too. We can get into.
Mine's pretty short, so it's
You didn't make it. That was it.
everyone makes the team, Dave. They don't cut you. I don't know if you remember high school sports, but anyways, we'll talk about it in another episode.
So the Miami Mermen, we're gonna steal that logo and start using it.
Oh yeah, we got merch coming out.
Send me your nicknames for me.
Yeah.
What new adjectives should I add to Dave for nicknames? I think Merman Dave is going to be a new one.
Yeah, send me your nicknames for me too.
I think we should stick with FoFo.
Send me your insults and be like, I can't believe any woman would date Forrest ever. They're not attractive women.
Come see me at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego. I'll be there for 2 shows on a Saturday night later in September.
Okay.
By the time this airs, I will have just done Red Rocks with Burt for the second time, so I'll tell you stories about that on a future episode.
Yeah.
And I got shows in Bakersfield and in Nashville coming up as well. And then I'm heading to Florida in December, putting together some shows in Tampa at Side Splitters, and then working on Orlando Improv as well.
I'm in Florida.
Check out DaveWilliamson.com for those, and at Dave W Comedy on Instagram. Check out the wall that I just built for football season to put my TV up in my front yard.
We get it.
At Dave
Check it
W
out. Just
Comedy.
check it out.
Check
It's
it
all
out. Check it out.
By the time this airs, I'll have my third child be born. So, check out, go to my Instagram, Forrest Shaw, 2 R's. There'll be pictures up there. I'll put my baby up there next to Dave's wall so you can kill 2 birds with one stone.
Grandpa Fofo.
Yeah. And go to forestshaw.net. There's shit up there. Go to my Instagram. It's the only place I do anything, and I rarely do it there, but go there.
Big thanks to Comedy Records. If you want to watch this on YouTube, go to Comedy Records YouTube channel. Otherwise,
We'll mention them at the beginning of the podcast at some point.
All right.
Should probably do that.
We'll remember.
Sorry.
Let's go get a burger, Forrest.
For they are the mermen.